Hi everyone, welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're all doing good and well. So for this next album review, I'm reviewing the 12th studio album from Swedish metal band Katatonia and their release Sky Void of Stars, which came out last week on Napalm Records. The album is 10 tracks, it's 45 minutes in length. If you have the bonus track version, then of course it's 11 tracks and something like 50 minutes in length. But anyway, so in Katatonia, you've got Jonas Renkser on the vocals, of course, Anders Nyström on guitars and keyboards, Niklas Sandin on the bass, Daniel Molainen on drums and Roger Urgison on guitars. So to me, I really feel that Katatonia should be a household name in metal by now. I think they deserve to be. They have a myriad of great albums to their name. I mean, some really fantastic albums, going from their early days with the likes of Brave Murder Day, a death doom metal classic from their early era, and then into the 2000s with more alternative metal leaning stuff, some really good catch-on gothic music like he had with Viva Emptiness and Great Cold Distance, both very accessible, both fantastic albums. And then more complex progressive rock leaning stuff in the 2010s with Fall of Hearts, which to me was a masterpiece, and bringing in more of those unusual, interesting time signature changes and elements like that in a sort of in the typical melancholic atmosphere that Katatonia bring with them in their music. And so how does this latest album, Sky Void of Stars, stack up against lots of those really great albums? For me, this is more in the vein of City Burials, their last album from 2020. I've been trying to work out whether I like this one more or less than City Burials, but at the moment I think they're very, very sort of, to me, they're on the same sort of level for me, actually. I do think this is a solid album. I don't think Katatonia have ever released a bad album. They're just one of those bands that can still produce the goods, even when they're on studio album number 12. And you know, I feel like this is an album if you're new to Katatonia, I think you'll probably love this, because you'd be introduced to Jonas Renkser's amazing voice, you'd be introduced to their great sort of interesting time signature changes and great riffs and that really fantastic mood that comes along with their music. But if you know Katatonia really well, like I do, you go into albums with extremely high expectations. And for me, this has kind of met my expectations more than it has exceeded, like Fall of Hearts did in 2016. But saying that, this is well worth a listen. This is by no means me saying this is anything other than a good album. It's still a good album. Still lots on here to enjoy. Still a few gems on this album for me. It's just perhaps not a masterpiece as much, I think, as some of their other albums in their strong catalogue. So let's dig into these tracks a little bit more with Katatonia's latest release. So Austerity is the opening song on this one. I think it's a great opener. Reminded me a little bit of Behind the Blood from their previous album, City Burials, which is another song I really liked. But yeah, really great guitar work in this one, really good solo work in the middle of the track, which stood out to me quite a bit on this whole album as well. Colossal Shade was quite good, very heavy track. The album for me starting off strong, on a strong note. Opolino quite liked some interesting electronic tweaks to that track, or synth work, I don't know what it was, but very interesting stuff. Fairly memorable chorus, but other than that, you know, it was okay, that one for me. Birds was a really good pre-release single on the album, I thought. Good up-tempo stuff, good, you know, sort of classic Katatonia stuff for me from their recent era on that song. I liked Atrium, another one of the pre-release. That song got stuck in my head a lot, and it's been in my head all weekend, that song. So it's doing something right if it's managing to achieve that, I think. And possibly my favourite track next to the opening track is actually the closing track, which is No Beacon to Illuminate Our Fall, which I thought just pushed things a little bit more than the other songs. It went more in that sort of slightly proggy direction that I think Katatonia do actually do very well when they go down that route. And, you know, was unpredictable. I like Katatonia when they're that little bit more unpredictable sometimes, when you're not quite sure what they're going to unleash at you next. And No Being Too Many I Fall just did that bit more for me. So I really liked that song at the end of the album. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on here. It's a good album. I'm not saying it's anything other than a good album. But for me, it's just as a Katatonia fan, I'm always expecting something really special. And just for my liking this time, it wasn't quite there, but that's still, I'm going to give this album a 7 out of 10. So it's still well worth your time. I think it's still a good album in their discography. And yeah, I think that's probably about all I have to say on Katatonia, Sky, Void of Stars. I reckon there is a fantastic album next from these guys, because you never get too long a streak of albums that are anything less than fantastic from Katatonia. So I think their next album is going to be great. It's just a feeling I've got in my stomach. So fingers crossed. Like I say, this is still worth checking out, particularly I think if you're new to the band and you want to get into them. It is a good album. It is a good album. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got some building work going on today, so there's a bit of background noise potentially that may come through onto the video, thuds and drills and that kind of thing. Apologies if that's the case. Whenever I do reviews during the day, this is sometimes the problem for me at the moment because my flat has a lot of works going on around it. But anyway, enough of that. So just a couple of things coming up on the channel very soon. The Saturday premiere this weekend is going to be Malazan Reaper's Gale book review, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And then we've also got a continuation of my 10+ minute epic songs shorts videos, which I am going to be sharing some more of those this week with you as well. And later tonight we have the Shoegaze Files too, with special guest Shoegaze 93 Sam Mortley coming in for that video. So stick around for that maybe as well. Otherwise from me, take care everybody, bye for now.